Welcome back, all our 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ.
And I'm Lane.
And we're here with Tim's Nation to bring you another Warhammer 40K battle report. Once again, going back to one of our classic rivalries, Pestilence versus Purity, Grey Knights and the DeathGuard.
Wait, which one is which?
I'm obviously the Purity.
All right, fine.
And I mean, you got the stinky guys.
Yeah, I do.
All right. And so this is going to be, Lane is testing for, well, testing / practicing, because there's a couple of very minor tweaks from the list that you played last week. And I am full board testing to get some better stuff for iNexus.
Mm-hmm.
Since some of my armies, the shift over for Grey Knights specifically, which we're running today, just dropping one Dread Knight actually was a lot higher of an impact to my list than originally seemed.
Mm-hmm.
And from the damage output and the point scoring aspect of it. So made some tweaks, and this is going to be the first test version of this list. And you just had some minor tweaks, but mostly you're going to be practicing for a team event. Why don't we talk real quick what the team event is going to be about and what your goal is for your army?
Yeah, it's a 5-player team event, and I'm going to be kind of a defender, so I'll be thrown out there in the pairings process early on, maybe the first one out there. So the idea is I don't necessarily need to win every game, but I need to be able to score points and stay in the game, because the team turnips use differential scoring, which means, you know, if I lose by 10 points, I still score for my team. It still contributes. So that's the goal, is to win some, and when I do lose, to not lose by too much. So we really want to test. I think we've kind of established that the DeathGuard can really tank a close combat army's attacks, but I need to see how I do with more shooting, because that can hurt me.
And I do have a lot more shooting in this list today. So as always, guys, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the bell to get notified of all the content that we are bringing here on the channel, including both of these army lists. And Lane, let's start off with the DeathGuard. Talk to us about what you're bringing today.
All right, this is 2,000 points of DeathGuard. We have just so many characters, guys. I've got 2 Biologus Putrifiers. I've got 2 Foul Blight Spawns. We have 2 DeathGuard Sorcerers and Terminator Armor. We have 1 Lord of Virulence. He's got the Droning Enhancement, which I'm 100% sure I will forget about. And then we've got Typhus. I've got 2 10-man squads of Plague Marines kitted out with all of the close combat weapons. We have 2 DeathGuard Rhinos, just a 10-man of DeathGuard Cultists that are being played by Poxwalkers today. We have 1 DeathGuard Hellbrute, so you can shoot things and put them into contagion. And then we've got 2 3-mans and a 6-man of Death Shroud Terminators, and finally 2 War Dog Carnivores. DJ, what are you bringing today?
Well, to answer that question simply, I'm bringing Grey Knights. In this list, we have 20 Terminator bodies, 10 of which will be Paladins, complete with 5 Incinerators. Then we have 10 of the standard Brotherhood Terminators with 2 Psy Cannons. Both units will have a banner, but only the regular Brotherhood Terminators can take the Apothecary. We have 2 Grand Masters, one with an Incinerator, one with a Psy Cannon. The one with the Incinerator is going to have the Sigil of Exigence, so shoot me and I run away. And then the other one has First to the Fray for a turn 1 deep strike. You have 2 5-man squads of the Interceptors. These guys love these guys who are just jumping around and doing secondaries. 1 5-man strike squad. And we have 2 Dread Knight chassis, because I got to have some Dread Knight in here. We have 1 that's going to be a Grand Master with the Hammer, the Psy Cannon, and the Silencer. And then last, we have the Dread Knight that is able to advance and charge, also with Psy Cannon and Silencer. So this is the tweak and change. Now, what I'm looking at is I'm going to play fixed secondaries. So I'm going to be running Engage on all fronts, and it's very, very tempting to go with Assassinate because you have a lot of characters. So I'm gonna mull that one over. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, it's like, I have some damage output, and I need to pick up 5 out of your 8 characters to max that out.
Yeah, it's probably fine, because
I think that's the best way to go with it. Yeah, because
each of the Plague Marine squads has 2 characters in them, and those are fairly easy to chew through. The ones that are attached to the Death Shroud Terminators will be difficult, but if you pick up 4 characters, that's still a solid 16 on second.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with the idea of this list is to play fixed secondaries, one of which being Engage on all fronts because of how hyper mobile the army can be. The second is usually going to be Cleanse, because we need to play on objectives. And my army can just hit an objective and sit on it. and just score points completing secondaries. I don't mind if I have to complete a secondary with a squad of Grey Knight Terminators, because then it's just so difficult to move them off that objective, especially if it's a defensive objective more so. Other than that, it's just a lot more bulky stuff, playing on those secondaries, trying to have that and hold those things down. Still do have like the Grandmaster Dread Knights in there. And the one thing I'm really interested to try out, especially with the Paladins, is having 6 incinerators in that unit. 1 on the Grandmaster, 4 on the squad, and then the standard gets 1 as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I did forget one model. There is a Tech Marine. There's a single Tech Marine that I put in there last minute because initially I had a Vindicare Assassin in this list. And I was actually very excited to go and play him because I have that cool, unique model that came out before. I'm like, nice, we can do a Vindicare. And then Agents of the Imperium.
150 points for a Vindicare if he's taken outside the Imperial Agents Codex. So I don't know where that came from.
So guess where he is now?
He's back on the shelf.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, he did not make the cut. He got cut very quickly at that value. But the Tech Marine, what's nice is he can also complete secondaries like Cleanse. He has Lone Op, which I like characters with Lone Op for completing secondaries and units and stuff like that to have that. Because his role, fixing and buffing vehicles, he can still do that, and then he can complete the secondaries while the vehicles they're buffing can do the damage and do what they're supposed to be doing, so they don't have to sacrifice the vehicle for an action. The Tech Marine can do it. So I do like characters like that. I feel like it's very thematic in the game terms as well, and it also it helps those vehicle units to kind of be able to participate in the secondaries because they're protecting this character who's giving them buffs, doing all this stuff, and then goes on to complete an action, since most of those Tech Marine characters really don't have the greatest of shooting. I mean, they're cool. They usually have like 5 guns. It's like, oh, look, I have a bolt pistol, a flame pistol, a bolter. I'm going to throw a rock at you too. And then, they just have all these random weapons and attacks.
Tech Marine, they're going to throw a wrench.
They're going to throw a wrench. There you go. You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a bullet. All right, Lane. Odd or even?
Oh, wait. We got to clear some space here.
Yep. Odd or even?
Give me an even.
That is an even, and I missed all the dice too.
It's
I'm impressed with that. All right, Lane, deploy first or second?
I guess I'll have you drop first.
All right. We'll be back after deployment. All right. We are deployed. Lane, talk to us about what we are doing here today.
We are playing the glorious game of Warhammer 40,000. Our deployment today is Sweeping Engagement. So kind of like a stepped Dawn of War. Today's mission rule is Smoke and Mirrors. I don't think either of us really take advantage of this. We can put a unit into reserve if we want to.
After
up to 500
knowing
points.
Who goes first.
Yeah, after we deployed our armies, starting with the Decker. No, it's after we deploy.
Oh, so it would be like right now.
Yeah,
before we know who goes first.
Yeah,
you.
And our mission is good old Scorched Earth. So it's 5 points for each objective you control, up to 10 points, and then you can burn objectives in no man's land for an extra 5 points apiece. And if you burn your opponent's deployment zone objective, that's a solid 10.
All right. So for deployment. For me, I know the DeathGuard shooting, especially with Lane's list, is not as sturdy. And this is something that going into a tournament, I would be willing to check out, because I know DeathGuard right now, their shooting is not where it's at. Like we've seen last week, it's their combat. So I can be a little more in the open. Still doesn't stop me from putting the Marines.
You still hid from me.
Yeah, still put the strike in there. I don't want to accidentally lose some guys just errant shots and losing the strike early, because having all 5 of them late into the game is valuable. But they're on that objective to try to be able to sticky that, depending on how the flow goes. Paladins are just back here. This plays into engage on all front stuff with where they're located, but they don't need to hide it per se as much because, well, they're Paladins. Then over here we got the Dread Knights out here ready to go, ready to make a push up onto that objective, and as well play into the engage on all fronts aspect of the army with the Tech Marine to heal them if they happen to get hit. And then we have a 5-man squad of interceptors here, because they can shoot across the field to get me that corner for an early 4-point engage on all fronts on turn 1. All right, Lane, what do we got?
We're just on the table here, ready to go. I've got, in Deep Strike, I have all 12 of my Death Shroud Terminators with characters, and Typhus is going solo in Deep Strike. We've got a Rhino over here with the Plague Marines and the Foul Blight Spawn. And I'm going to forget these at some point. 2 characters there. We've got a Carnivore. We've got 10 cultists that do have a scout move, so I can move them into the middle early on. Over here, we've got the Hell Brute. He's going to try to hold my home field objective and shoot a couple things, and then Carnivore to kind of back him up. And then, of course, one more Rhino full of dirty, dirty boys.
What's hilarious about this is we're playing Scorched Earth. You have 12 Terminators off board that have flamers, and I have these incinerators on my Paladins. So we are really, really going to light this world on fire.
Yeah, something's going to get scorched today.
So in this matchup, are you looking to go first or second?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Probably second, because I just don't want you to go second because you're Grey Knights. So there.
Hey, fair enough. All right, let's see what we got. We don't know yet. Don't know yet.
Oh. Again.
Rolls a 6 in and out of the box. Okay.
DJ, what's happening?
I don't know. Magnets under the table or something?
Magnets.
Hey, there we go. All right. Well, unfortunately, though, that means that you will be going first.
It does.
So we both have a scout move. We'll just incorporate that into turn 1 since it's only 1 unit. And then, Lane, it's time to play the game.
Turn 1, I poked recover assets and no prisoners. This is not an army that's going to be doing no prisoners turn 1. So we didn't. We just scooched up on our deployment zone objective. Fired the Hellbrutes. Heavy bolter here, did no damage, but did put that Nemesis Dread Knight into contagion. So his -1 toughness and his weapon skill, or no, his armor is reduced. That's about it. So we're recovering assets with this Carnivore and with this Rhino. And that's about it. My little cultists moved up onto the middle here, so they're going to live forever and just hold this objective for 5 whole turns. And we'll see what DJ does.
So as previously stated, I am playing off Engage on all fronts and Assassinate for the game. So we do need to pop open some of these Rhinos so we can get some of the characters out and spread out around the field to score and engage. So for this corner, we move the Dread Knight up. He's got an option to either shoot at the Carnivore or the Dreadnought, whichever one I feel like when I get there. Then we move the Interceptors up here. Now they need to pass this dice. So what they're going to do is the side cannon is going to shoot at this Rhino, and then they're going to get their 6-inch extra move, and they'll be right over there, beautiful. Over here, the Strike are still hiding out over here in this building. No real reason, nothing needed to do with them right now, so they're just going to be there and give me this table quarter. We did spend a command point to drop within 3 inches with the Paladins. And our biggest hope, biggest play right now, because if this doesn't happen, we're in trouble, is we are putting quite a bit with the 3 side cannons from the Terminators, plus all their bolters, and the Grandmaster are all going to shoot at this little old Rhino, and hopefully we can blow it up. And then we blow it up, and then we can burn the guys inside. So that is currently the action plan. Let's do some shooting and hope that that works out. Not a strong shooting phase. So amazingly, he did hit and was able to put 2 wounds on this Rhino, which didn't really matter. I just needed him to scoot up a little more. No damage from this Dread Knight onto that Carnivore, which is what we shot at. And then over here, the Rhino is still here. We ended up putting all the Terminators into it. It has 2 wounds left. Just really, really could not get through with the Terminators or the Dread Knight. Not enough damage. Just not enough went through. The Dread Knight just had a very weak shooting phase this round. So we're going to have to hope on a charge with the Terminators and see if that can do it in. Well, we achieved some sort of greatness this turn. We needed to use the Grandmaster reduction of the stratagem for this turn. I wanted to save the CP and make sure I have for other things. So we used it to re-roll the charge. We were successful and finished off that Rhino. So the guys got out. And because of how little space is over here, we did actually force one of the guys to be removed because there was nowhere to place him. So that was a positive. There was no room between these guys. I put them within an inch, so they would have been engagements, so they couldn't do that. And then just not enough room, not being able to be placed wholly within 3 inches of the Rhino. So that was a positive. So we do score. Engage on all fronts for 4 points for the turn. We're in a little bit of a position here because, you know, these guys can smack. But we have them surrounded with Terminators, so we'll see how that affects things moving forward. All right, over to Lane and the Death Guard.
For this turn, I pulled Sabotage and behind the enemy lines. So, being it's turn 2, we have a bunch of deep strikes. We're able to do that. So the Plague Marines disembarked and moved forward. There were some interceptors here, but they were cowards and did as cowards do and ran away. They missed have demoed away, so we're just going to have this guy to work on. Typhus came in here. He's going to sabotage, and he's going to, but he can still do a psychic attack here. We got these 2 3-man squads of Death Shrouds that had the Sorcerers and Terminator armor leading them. They are not going to shoot at the guys in the building here. They're just going to attempt to make a charge. I got 2 squads trying to go in there. But I do have the Sorcerers in range so they can put their shots into the Terminators. So I'm going to start hurting them. These guys, of course, just stayed there. We're going to want to make our charge into the Paladins, I guess is where we're going. But we'll do a little shooting first. I don't want them to miss and demo us away, and I did not want them to overwatch my Plague Marines. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going to shoot some. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of shooting. So we threw grenades for free with the Plague Marines. We did pick up 1 of the Paladins there. Did a little bit of shooting, picked up 1 of the Terminators. 2 of the Terminators. So when he brings 1 of these Terminators back, at least I have killed 1. Typhus, the sad boy, rolled a 1 and did 2 mortal wounds to himself. Still sabotaging, though. And this guy took some damage from the Flamers from these guys. So he's down to 8. I really want to make a charge there, though. Okay, so it's charge o'clock. That was some brutal fighting. My Plague Marines, well, I did kill a few Paladins. Well, I charged in here. DJ did heroic intervene with the Terminators into my Plague Marines. So the Plague Marines are going to get wrecked. I spent 1 CP to do sustained on them, so they were sustaining on 5-ups. I absolutely whiffed on my dice. The heavy Plague weapons with 15 attacks only got 2 5-ups.
No. The characters went crazy.
The characters rolled all 5-ups on their AP-01 damage weapons, and they actually managed to pick up 2 Terminators. They finished off 1 because DJ rolled a bunch of 1s. But yeah, real sad roll there. So Paladins and the remaining Terminators wrecked the rest of my Plague Marines, of course. To
be fair, this turn, neither one of us could find the other side of the dice for like 4, 5, and 6s.
Yeah, it was some weird dice. So the Carnivore is down to 3 here. Over here, I couldn't quite pick up this Nemesis Dread Knight. He's down to 1. He bombed me back pretty hard, and now I am down to 2. So that's that for my turn. So I did get behind enemy lines for 2 of them because I've got 2 units behind enemy lines. And then Typhus, we'll see if he can complete his sabotage.
Here we go. Going into the bottom of turn 2. Still on the engage on all fronts and assassinate. We did pick up those 2 assassination kills at the end of Lane's turn, so I'm pretty happy about that. And we're going to try and get a 3rd one this turn, at least. So, since the Dread Knight lived, bit by the skin of his teeth, he fell back because he's allowed to fall back, shoot and charge. Lovely thing about regular Dread Knights. So he's going to try to shoot down him and charge and finish off him. Maybe vice versa, so we can get back over to the objective. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. He definitely is going to be trying to do some work right now this turn. I did pick up my Grandmaster and my Strike. The Grandmaster came back down here. I was a little hesitant if I wanted to draw over to the objective, but I figured it's kind of a moot point, so there's no point in not doing it. So we'll just sit on the objective, so at least if we start whooping and walloping, we can get that objective marker back. Over here is where we put the Strike, because I'm not confident that that Dread Knight's going to live till the end of the turn for engage on all fronts. And then we dropped Interceptors down over here, which they're going to shoot at the Rhino and then move up against the line so that they're further away for these Plague Marines if these Plague Marines want to try and turn around and come back after me. Lane did decide a rapid ingress. He brought his Terminators in right here. He had to keep them 9 inches away because inside this building over here, we do have the Paladins that fell back so that we can put shots from the Terminators and hopefully pick off those last 3 wounds on this Carnivore. I'm not super worried about it, but I definitely want to try and remove him as soon as possible. So, all right, let's do some shooting and see how this all works out. Much stronger shooting phase. I was able to pick up the things that I needed to pick up. So I decided with the Dread Knight to shoot the Carnivore, and then we're going to charge Typhus since he's a little tougher. I just wanted to guarantee that carnivore was down. I figured just for the shooting, it's gone. Now try and charge into Typhus. Over here, the Grand Master did pretty well. He was able to pick up 2 Terminators and wound another. So that's not too bad, and he can still charge the other squad, which is going to be his next goal. And then over here, the Terminators, with their side cannons, were able to finish off the Carnivore, which I wasn't too concerned about it because it would have been floating around with low wounds. I would have picked up eventually, but now I don't have to worry about it accidentally picking up a Paladin. Oh, wait, it exploded and accidentally picked up a Paladin.
I'm delighted.
Then over here, I decided not to move afterwards with the Interceptors. If Lane wants to come back with these Plague Marines, that's perfectly fine with me. Then they're not really doing much for the game purposes, and they're really, really slow. So sure, come hang out with me over here. Instead, we're going to try and launch a charge on that Rhino. It will get us close to the objective, punch it, and try to get rid of it just because it's an annoying thing that's in my way. So, all right, let's do some charges and see how this wraps up. So we tank shocked in here, slammed Typhus for 2 wounds, and then finished him off with a hammer. That's another assassinate kill. Over here, the Grandmaster charged in and whopped a couple Terminators. Lane had an ability that he rolled for that ended up him blowing up one of his own Terminators. What was that, Psychic Power?
Yeah, it's the Sorcerer in Terminator Armor, his ability. At the start of the fight phase, I rolled D6 on a 2-up. My guys reduced damage by 1, but he rolled a 1 and did D3 mortals to his unit and rolled a 3, so he picked up one of my own Terminators.
Nice. For me. So we did some damage and we piled in, so we're tagging both of them. So if he wants to, he can fall back, but at least we're in position to try and get those last 2 character kills for Assassinate. We did actually land the charge over here. Not that it matters very much. And, well, we got the Rhino down to 6 wounds. Some may wonder, like, why do I care about the Rhino? It's just one of those pieces that Lane does not have any use for other than scoring secondaries at this point in the game. So removing it means that he has to use units that can actually do damage to score secondaries. So that's the benefit for me. So, all right, we did get another maximum engage turn. Very nice. And we'll hand this back over to Lane and his turn 3.
So DJ skunked my sabotage by picking up Typhus. And then, so I ended up spending a CP to discard that. So now I have Defend Stronghold and Bring It Down. I moved over here, and he did spend his last CP to pick up the Nemesis Dread Knight to deny me Bring It Down, because I moved the 9 of them. And now we're going to do some shooting, I guess. Put some flamers into this Nemesis Dread Knight, see if we can do some work on it. And the Hell Brute is coming here to tangle with these guys. Okay, so bonks were very successful. The Hell Brute did pick up 1 with his Impact Mortals and then picked up the remaining 4 in combat, so he did very good. Good job, my little man. Oh, he's going to consolidate back onto Objective. And then these guys made their charge in just barely. I rolled a 3. I really tried to miss it, but I just barely made that charge in. They picked up the Nemesis Dread Knight. We piled over there. So we get 2 points from Bring It Down. Defend Stronghold completes at the end of DJ's turn. That's it for my turn.
The plan for this turn is we're going to try to get some character kills out of this and stop these cultists from burning this objective. So what we did was first engage on all fronts on this side. We just left the strike down over here, and we brought Interceptors, the last 5-man down over here. They'll shoot at the Dreadnought, try and charge him maybe. I don't know. Just try and see what we can do to maybe get rid of him. If I can get rid of that Dreadnought, it'd be a happy day. But over here, highly unlikely, but happy day. Over here, this is where we're going to try and do some damage. So the Dread Knight came back in. He's got 1 wound left, and he is just outside of any possible threat range of the Terminator, of the Death Shroud Terminators. These Terminators grew a model back, moved on the objective, and we're just going to shoot down here and try and pick up that Sorcerer, the squad, and then deal with these Terminators in the following turn. They already took my home field objective, so can't really do anything about it now. We did move back the Tech Marine so that we don't get charged accidentally, and we still score our engage points for that. So then over here, I just got to make the decision. Do I risk it for the biscuit and try and charge these guys? I need a 7 on the dice, and then just charge them and rip them to shreds. Or do I shoot him down and guarantee the kill with 6 incinerators, just murdering the cultists? So All right, let's do some shooting, and we'll come back and see what I decide to do. Shooting-wise, not a whole lot of damage any which ways. Best we were able to do is we picked up the last dude in the squad, so at least when we go at the sorcerer's next turn, we don't have to deal with the -1 to wound, because now they're not leading a unit, but we're not successful. We did a little damage to one dude, but we're not successful in picking any of them up. So shooting-wise, not really a whole lot. We risked it. We went for the charge on the cultists, and we rolled a 9. So we stuck the charge with the paladins. We're able to stop them from burning the objective and just ran them over wholeheartedly. So that is going to be the turn. We still got the 4 on engage again this turn. Still need 2 more characters to max out assassinate, and a lot of work on primaries. This one tends to be a little bit slower of a scoring mission until you can burn some objectives. So, all right, that's it for me. Kick it over to Lane.
This turn I pulled Containment and Area Denial. A lot of shenanigans here. I moved my Plague Marines towards DJ's Paladins in the middle of the table, but he missed away. And then I advanced my Rhino up to take Area Denial. And then Hellbrute is going over here. See if he can pick up a 5-man squad by himself again. Worked pretty well last time. Here we just scooched around a little bit. Most of these guys can get in range of the Terminators here. And I've got one sorcerer who's going to put his shots into here. See if we can scrape off that last wound. And then this one over here is going to contain. I got to score some secondaries because I'm struggling there. So here we go. A little bit of shoots. The Hellbrute picked up one of these boys in the shooting. The Rhino shot the Nemesis Dread Knight with 1 wound left. Did the wound. DJ failed to save and spent 1 CP to re-roll it. But then this sorcerer shot into him with his psychic attack and was able to pick up the Nemesis Dread Knight, which, much to my satisfaction, caused an explosion. That's the 3rd vehicle explosion we've had today, and picked up a Terminator here. And then we put some fire on them from these guys and picked up a couple more. So that's that. Charges, I guess I'd probably have like an 11-inch charge here if I want it. Then over here, the Hellbrute's got a couple inch charge. So we'll go over there. We'll see what happens. So the Hellbrute picked up 3 more guys. There's only 1 guy left here in this squad. Failed to make the 10-inch charge here, though. Happy with the results that we had in terms of picking up a few of these guys. So that's it there. We contained for 1 area over here, and then area denied there. So we did score a few points on secondaries. On to DJ.
Alrighty, so we did spend our command point for the turn of these Terminators because they are not allowed to fail their battle shock. I need them in more ways than you can possibly imagine right now. So, first we needed to set up for engage on all fronts. Brought those Paladins back in over here, and they're going to flame on into these Plague Marines. Then we did pass battle shock with the Interceptor. He jumped over here, just kind of blocked the lane, pun intended, literally blocking the lane, so that he couldn't charge into my strike that landed there and de-stinkify that objective. They landed there, sprayed some Lysol, and said, "This is mine now." And then we moved the Terminators up. Lane opted to not overwatch, and we're going to try and see if we can't mess with some of these Terminators over here, and just mess them up a bit because we need to get in there and get some get over there for engage. And then the Attack Marine just jumped to the other side of them. That's not 2 wounds. That's the marking of where my halfway point is. So we just jumped over there for engage. So we're set up for engage. Now we just need to do some shooting. The shooting was relatively uneventful. We were only able to pick up 2 of the Plague Marines with the Paladins right now, and I did not want to charge in there because they fight first. So without any CP to back up with a true silver armor, that was not where I wanted to be. Over here, we did charge in with the Terminators. We were able to take only 1 of them down on our charge, and in return, we lost 2. Now, we did spike our saves, so we were able to stick around for a bit longer, but I don't think we're going to have the impact in there that I would have liked to see because our numbers are reduced, so it's going to hurt next turn. But we did get our 4 for engage. We just need to get those last 2 characters. All right, over to Lane.
Call the Horde is what I pulled, and secure No Man's Land. So secure No Man's Land, pretty easy. Don't move, so I don't get overwatched by all those flamers. And then he's going to secure No Man's Land. He's also going to burn that objective. So the Rhino's doing some work. And then over here, I just scooch these guys onto the objective, and then these guys are going to hopefully kill the last two Terminators here and pull off Call the Horde. So that's that. Halberd's going to shoot a little bit, and then we'll see what happens. So we just went through the shooting and the fight phase here. These guys cooked the last two Terminators with their flamers. I spent the 1 CP to get them up to AP1, and then only the character, the Grandmaster, is left, so we charged and finished him off in fighting. And then over here, the Hellbrute failed to make his 9-inch charge here. He did shoot the one last guy from that
It's because
squad.
he couldn't turn around, because if he tried to pivot, he would lose 2 inches to his move, so he's now stuck walking backwards. Games Workshop rules.
Yeah, well, he just knows that you can't shoot him if he can't see you. So he's backing into that. You can't Overwatch me.
I can't see them. If I can't see them, they can't see me.
He didn't get put into this Hellbrute Dreadnought because he was the smartest Plague Marine. So, but successful, secure no man's land, successful. What was my other one? Call the Horde. So we finished that Terminator squad. So good turn on secondaries. On to DJ's last turn.
For the most part, this was a pretty uneventful, but yet eventful turn in the same mark. So we just kind of rolled through it. So over here, Tech Marine went over here just to tag this objective since I score primaries at the end, out of range for an Overwatch, and just give me that sweet, sweet 5 points that I needed. And then over here, these guys, since burning an objective goes at the end of your opponent's turn, at the end of the game, whichever affects first. So these guys decided to burn that home field objective to give me that bonus 10 points. Then we slide over here. So we moved up the Paladins, and we got lost the dude in the Overwatch. And then when we charged, we lost 2. But we were able to shoot with the Flamers. We threw grenades, because these Paladins have grenades. And we were able to pick up most of the dudes before we even charged in, leaving only 2 Plague Marines left and the 2 characters that we charged in. Got hit, lost another Paladin. I think we lost 2 or 3 out of the squad. I can't remember fully. Either way, this was what was left. 3 Paladins and the Grandmaster, which bonked, whooped, and walloped, and took out the last 2 characters to max out my Assassinate, which was enough to push ahead for a final score. Grey Knights 88 to a DeathGuard 85. Broke the losing streak that I've been on for a while with a very, very nice, clean win with the Grey Knights. Happy to see it. Happy to see it. All right, well, we'll catch you on the post game to talk to you more about what our thoughts on this game overall. As you know, this was kind of where lanes would like to be in a loss, only down 3 points for differential scoring as far as the team tournament. And for me, I'm just happy to take the W. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again real soon.